All right, in this video, we're gonna do something pretty interesting. We're gonna go through the 8 quadrants of Calgary, and I'm gonna pick out the top community for each of the 8 quadrants. Now, I wanna make something really clear, okay? There is lots of really good communities in Calgary, and it's not easy for me, even as a real estate agent who's been doing this a long time, it's not easy to pick one out of each of these top 8 quadrants because there is so many good communities. But I took a really good look at a lot of factors that go into this, and in my selection, as difficult as it is, I wanted to look at what kind of rate of return that you could expect to get. So what kind of price increases based on demand, that's a factor. So if everyone's always mindful of, hey, if I buy real estate, will my property value go up? We also look at schools, we looked at just quality of life, we looked at amenities, and the ease and access of getting around. So that's what we're gonna base a lot on, but please, I want you to emphasize there are other good communities, and I am not necessarily saying that this is the only community that you should buy in each of these quadrants. I'm just saying this is one that you should consider, but believe me when I tell you, there are many others that could work for you. And if you were looking at some of these quadrants and you wanted to get more of a professional opinion on some of the other communities besides the top one that I'm giving you, all you have to do is reach out. And by the way, if you like this video, I'm gonna ask you to actually like the video. That would be great. Or you can also subscribe, and please ring the bell. And of course, you can get notified as more of these videos come up as I do them. All right, so the first quadrant we're going to look at is the city center quadrant, and the neighborhood I selected for this one is the community of Altadore. Now, I am a little biased, I'll confess, because I do own real estate in Altadore. In fact, I raised my 2 girls in Altadore, but it wasn't just, that's not the only reason I selected Altadore. It's just that Altadore does offer a lot. Altadore is really centrally located, close to Mount Royal University. There are some wonderful schools in the neighborhood. Central Memorial High School is one of them. You have access to Marda Loop. Now, for those of you that don't know what Marda Loop is, by the way, that's just an old train that used to go down 33rd Avenue. It used to loop around, and they used to call it the Marda Loop. So it's actually a nickname, by the way. It's not an actual community, but there is down 33rd Avenue, there's all kinds of restaurants and bars and amenities that they call Marda Loop. And of course, that makes it really nice if you're living in Altadore. Altadore has a lot of mixture when it comes to the type of homes you can get. They have infills, they have semi-detached, there are some condos, there's townhouses, there's apartment buildings. So there's a real variety. And of course, when it comes to being active, you've got Sandy Beach, there's lots of parks, there's lots of places to take your dog. So overall, it makes for a phenomenal lifestyle, and you're so close to just about everything, even including North Glenmore Park. The only thing you should be aware of, proximity being where it is, the median, or sorry, the benchmark price, which is a typical property, is $752,000. So it is definitely for more of a higher income to be able to afford that kind of an area. But trust me on this, if you were looking at something that is near downtown and you want all those amenities, you really should consider Altadore. All right, so the second community is in the west quadrant of Calgary, and I selected Aspen Woods. Now, Aspen Woods, it really is what I would consider to be more of a luxury type of neighborhood. There is some really high-end luxury houses that are there, but there is a good mixture of condominium and townhouse as well. So you still could get in at more of an affordable price if you were looking at a townhouse or a condominium. But Aspen Woods, located on the far west side of the city, you know, it's in a great location, and they did a great job in that community when they developed it of really doing a good mix of having nice trees there, all kinds of amenities. They've got a beautiful area called Aspen Landing, which is fantastic for doing your shopping. There's restaurants and bars there as well, and you can oftentimes just walk to it. It's also great with so many different parks that you can take the dog for a walk as well. Easy access to getting out to the mountains. That's another thing about Aspen Woods. But I think the most cool thing about it is that it's just luxury. Even the street lamps are kind of cool. They're not your typical, you know, oval type of street lamp. It's got those luxury ones that are kind of cool. So they made a really good job of just building that community in such a way that it just looks luxurious as you drive around. If you haven't been there, you should just take a look around and see, you'll see what I mean. It's a very, very nice place to live. And I'd have to say, as far as a luxury neighborhood, definitely one of the best in Calgary. Now, of course, when you're dealing with luxury homes, the price goes up as well. And the benchmark price for Aspen Woods is $853,400. But keep in mind, that's such a high demand neighborhood, so values will stay up. And over the last 10 years, there's actually been a 26% increase in pricing in that area, so you know there's a lot of people that want to live there. All right, for the south quadrant, I picked Lake Bonavista. Now, Lake Bonavista, it is a beautiful neighborhood, you can't argue it, and it was the first lake community that was ever built in Calgary, and they really did a remarkable job, and to this day, it's a really sought after community. When they built it, they didn't put any condominiums or townhouses in Lake Bonavista. The developer at the time wanted it to be a detached single-family home environment, but the lake it's just beautiful, and there's lots of trees around it, and you know, it's definitely still probably the most preferred lake in Calgary, arguably. But the thing about Lake Bonavista is it's situated, you know, in a nice location close to South Centre Mall, so shopping is really easy as well, and it's really easy to get around. But I think what also makes Lake Bonavista special is, even to this day, the builder that built homes there was known as Keith Built. One of the best builders we've ever seen. Even to this day, like if you go and show a home in Lake Bonavista and it's a Keith Built home, a lot of times buyers are like, oh yeah, we know it's Keith Built home and that's a really high quality build, because they did do an amazing job and a lot of houses were built by Keith. So I have to say, as far as the quality of life there, schools, just the friendliness of the neighborhood, the amenities, makes Bonavista a really special place. It's wonderful to see all the mature trees as well. And like a lot of these neighborhoods that are highly sought after, a little bit more in price. Like benchmark price for Lake Bonavista is $714,000. But would you believe in the last 10 years, the price has increased 48% in Lake Bonavista in the last 10 years. So it is one of the more highly sought after locations in the city. And just like I said with the other community of Aspen Woods, if you haven't been in Lake Bonavista, just go down there, drive around, take a look at the lake if you can. I think you'll fall in love with that area. All right, for the southeast quadrant, I selected Mahogany. Now, Mahogany is another lake community, but what I really love about it is that it was developed by Hopewell. And Hopewell, if you have any knowledge of them, one of the best developers that you'll ever see in Canada. They did an absolutely phenomenal job in Mahogany. You've got beautiful lake, you've got beach, you've got all of these amenities. They put some nice condos in there as well. They did a good job of really mixing up, having townhouses, attached properties, condos, and they did a great job of just putting them in the right locations around Mahogany with a lot of beautiful detached homes. And of course, you've got the luxury homes that are right on the lake. You can't really do better when it comes to amenities. You don't really have to ever leave the community. I mean, you can get everything you need right in Mahogany with ever not leaving the community. So that's what makes really Mahogany special. Now, it is a newer community. They haven't built it very long ago, so all of the properties are newer, which of course, if you want to be in a newer community and you want a lake community, this is definitely one that you should check out. Price-wise, well, a little bit more affordable because there's a lot of different kinds of properties. So the benchmark price is $567,000. So if you're looking at, you know, getting in with a condominium or maybe a townhouse, it's affordable, but you can go all the way up to, you know, $3, $4, $5 million properties that are right on the lake, or even there's a little island on the lake, which is also pretty special. So Mahogany for a lake community, still one of my favorites in Calgary. All right, so the east quadrant, I selected Belvedere. Now, this is a newer development. It's right on 17th Avenue. just past East Hills, which is on Stony Trail and 17th Avenue. And there's a lot of amenities that are right there, which is great. And Belvedere is really right in the middle between Chestermere and Calgary. And they put this development in, it's quite lovely, all new homes, which is fantastic if you look at where it's situated, because it's really easy to get around. You can access Stony Trail and of course just go anywhere on Stony Trail from there. So it's one of the only communities in the east that has newer homes, but you're gonna find there's a real variety of different kinds of homes in there, and price ranges are usually starting at around $500,000 and they're going up to $1 million for some of these luxury homes. But a good mix, solid neighborhood, great parks, lots of places also to walk the pets. I think Belvedere is definitely worth checking out, but I don't have any stats to give you because it's a relatively new community. The Northeast community, I picked Redstone, and Redstone, fantastic. I mean, it's located so close to the Calgary airport, so close to Stony Trail, and there's just a ton of amenities around Redstone. Anything you want, restaurants, bars, services, you need a lawyer, you need a doctor, it doesn't matter what it is, Redstone has it. And you've got a really good mix of homes there, so you can get in with a condo for even in the $200,000 range. And of course you can go up to a detached home, which is generally maxes out around $700,000, maybe $800,000 for the most part. So it's a very affordable neighborhood. Great neighborhood to be able to raise kids in your family, lots of schools, and there's lots of different ethnicities in the area of Redstone. So just about every culture is living there, which also makes it really great because you've got a real variety of different kinds of restaurants too. As far as the benchmark price, $488,000, so it's quite affordable. 27% increase in the last 10 years. So you can see it's a real steady growth, but it's a manageable steady growth. So I would definitely consider the Redstone area in the Northeast if you want to be close to the airport. All right, for the North Quadrant, I selected Panorama Hills. Now I might be dating myself a little bit, but I do remember when they started building in there, and I was really impressed because Panorama Hills is in the hilly part of Calgary. So there's actually a lot of walkout type of properties with walkout basements there, which is great. But they also put a golf course in there, which is really nice, and there's some beautiful houses right on the golf course. Just did a great job of building that community and adding amenities and laying it out in such a way that is really great with a mixture of parks and trees and playgrounds, which is just a perfect family neighborhood. So I really like Panorama Hills from that standpoint. And because they started building in there a long time ago, you will have a lot of homes with mature trees, all the way up to even recently they were building in there, so you can even get into some of these newer homes as well. And there's a good mix of condominium, attached properties, townhouses, so it's a little bit more affordable as well. You got a benchmark price of $530,000. So it's really easy for you, if you're just even getting into the real estate market, to get into Panorama Hills. But they've had a whopping 29% increase in pricing in the last 10 years. So it's pretty easy to see that a lot of people like to be in Panorama Hills, and I don't think that's going to change. That is definitely a property worth taking a look at if you want to be in the north. And it also has great access to Stony Trail. All right, so the Northwest Quadrant, I selected Edgemont. And this is a really cool community because it's built at one of the highest elevations of Calgary, by the way. So if you follow feng shui, you know it's actually good luck to be at the highest elevation. So there's actually a lot of people that pick Edgemont just even for that reason alone. But there is a lot that community offers. There's a lot of walkout properties, there's a lot of mountain views, which is great. There's a lot of city views in Edgemont as well. And they also laid it out with a lot of really nice amenities in there as well that's really close by. But the overall feel of Edgemont is just really nice, and there's some really nice luxury properties in there as well. You're so close to Nose Hill Park. That's one of the big benefits. Nose Hill's beautiful. I mean, it is a massive park. You can take your dogs and run or jog, mountain bike, whatever you want to do. A lot of people come from all over the city to visit Nose Hill Park, and it's right next to Edgemont. There's some good schools in Edgemont, really close to, like I said, lots of amenities at Crowfoot, so it's just easy to get around. Stony Trail isn't very hard to get to, and of course out to the mountains. So Definitely one of the most sought after communities in the Northwest. I'm seeing a tremendous amount of people that even bought in there many years ago, and they're even renovating their houses because they want to stay in that neighborhood. The benchmark price, $698,000, so it's going to cost you a little bit to get in there, but they've had a whopping 47% increase in pricing over the last 10 years. So you can see that it's definitely one of the most sought after areas of the Northwest. So for Northwest Quadrant, put Edgemont on one of the communities to come and visit. All right, thanks for watching. I hope this video has been really helpful, but I want to say one last thing about this video. There are many really beautiful communities. I highlighted the top 8 from each quadrant, but arguably there are some communities that could easily rival the ones that I picked. So please reach out to me if you have questions about other communities in these quadrants, because believe me when I tell you, there are many others that I would consider moving into myself, let alone many clients that I've worked with over the years. So if this video has been helpful for you and you've really enjoyed it, as always, I'd appreciate it very much if you would subscribe. And of course, you can even like my video, and you can click the bell so you can be notified when more videos come up similar to this that I put out.